All right. I believe we can hear me. You're welcome to Creative Series. And yeah, we are live now. Welcome to the July edition of Creative Series. And our topic, this evening or for this edition is from ideation to startup. I know our guests or our speaker on the show, well, is a show, is an event actually. Our speaker this evening is not a person that barista, is actually barista Alex Afolalu, who is also the principal partner. Alex Afolalu and Co, like I said, is a practicing lawyer, and he has been practicing for close to a decade now, over a decade actually. So you are welcome to Creative Series. It's been a great one. So please, we want to engage us. If can you just use the chat box to let us know where you are joining from, and perhaps also how you got to know about this series. We know we have some recurring members. As it's not your first time. Of course, you've attended one of part of the previous series we've had before now, and so you're aware. You're on our email community or our WhatsApp page, so you see a notification. But perhaps if you are a newcomer, so you can just use the chat box. Let us know. Everyone, let us know your name, where you're coming from, perhaps what you do also. And if you're a newcomer, just indicate, your first time here. My team members would give you a special welcome. You are a special guest on our series this evening. Thank you. Any moment from now, our speaker will be joining in. So I am Anunwako Alexander Shuremekun, and I also happen to be the lead of this community, and of course the convener also of Creative Series. So a little background story. I believe we can hear me. Please let me know if we can hear me. I prepare feedback if we can be using the chat. Please can we hear me? Let us know. I said let us know where you're joining. All right, thank you, Ife. Okay, please let us know where you're joining, your name, where you're joining from, what you do, and most especially if this is your first time attending any of the Creative Series, just let us know on the chat box. You are guest for tonight. Okay, I can see Ife from Lagos. Yeah, thank you, Ife, for joining in. Please, others, let us know. So a little background story to Creative Series. So Creative Series is an initiative of the Sorexine community, and it's a community, or we're a community of creatives, right? So we have creative members in our community, and we have events just like this. We share ideas, we share events, not necessarily from our community now, by other maybe community or by other persons, and we know it's going to be knowledgeable for our members, our community members. So we do a lot of that, and we do much more than that. We have social media pages. You can check us at Sorexine. My team member would drop the information there. But basically, Creative Series is an initiative of the Sorexine community that started late last year, in the month, specifically in the month of November. And I don't know, this is July, right? So this is like the ninth edition, if I'm not mistaken, from November last year to now. I think this is the ninth edition. So we had two editions last year, November, December, then we had sixth edition. No, okay, is this so this should be the eighth edition, right? So from November, and it's been a great one. If you've ever missed, if this is your first time or you ever missed any of the series, the videos, the recording, the sessions are there on our YouTube channel. You can go ahead and just, view any of them. We've had amazing speakers over the, since we started, male, female. We had a special edition in the month of February, where we spoke about love and emotion, and it was a special edition because, of course, it was a love month, the month of February, and more special also because we had two facilitators or two speakers for that particular series. So since we started, we've always been having one, like a single speaker. For in the month of February was a special edition. We had two speakers, and like I said, the recordings are there on our YouTube. You can check them out. And so it's been a great one. We consider different aspects. Like I said, it's creative series. So we consider different aspects of creatives. So either as a business owner or as a creative, yeah, in the creative industry, as long as basically anything you do can be considered, being in the creative industry can be considered you being creative. So how do you expand what you do? Yeah, if any industry you may be, yeah, particularly a creative. So how do you go about what you do? How do you expand it? What are the other things, right? You can look at to improving what you do, right? So putting your work out there. So these are some of the areas we consider in creative series. And we find different speakers from, the different sectors or areas that you can look at. Just come and share with us from their wealth of knowledge. Last edition we had we're looking at VAs, the role of VAs in the 24th century, and our speaker herself, shared so many insights, right, from that edition. So you can just check in, and I believe you'll be blessed. So our speaker will be joining in any moment from now. Let us know when he's on call. But while we do that, I can't see. I believe we can still hear me. I can only see Ife from Lagos. David Janet, if you can, I believe David Janet, he or she, I believe she. Please let us know where you're joining from. Uh, your name, what you do, where you're joining from. Tayo Ajayi, please let us know where you're joining from, what you do, and if it's your first time, please indicate. Olayemi, I'm guessing that's YMSC. Yeah, please let us know what you do and where you're joining from. So about now, I'll speak. Any feedback from us? We are currently engaging, till our speaker comes in. So I don't know what are your expectations from this series? Can we know what are your expectations from this series? What are you expecting? What came flyer from Ideation to start up? Want to know your view about this. What came to mind when you saw Ideation to start up? Why did you register? Right? Why did you decide to be a part of this series this evening? Please, am I audible? I'm not getting as much feedback as I would expect. Okay, you can see I am Egitaya from Ibadan. Egitaya, thanks for joining in. This is my second time joining, so your second time joining. Thank you for joining. As a creative, I am a content writer. Content writer. Okay, as an addition to you can I don't know, either post a link or something to what you do that will help. Sorry, please 1 second. You can either post a link or drop your Instagram handle or something that can help refer to a page or a site, or I don't know, to what you do. So either a page, a link, anything. All right. Olayemi would like to hear from you. David Janet would also like to hear from you. Okay, Olayemi. Yeah, I was right. That's Yemisi. Okay, Yemisi from Ibadan. Okay, this is your number what time of joining, or is it your first time, and what do you do? So also, I want the comments to flow again. Like I said, what came to mind when you saw creative series, from ideation to startup? What came to mind? What was the thing that came to mind? Why did you decide to register? What are you open to learn? Uh, yes. Speaker is a um is a lawyer, but aside being a lawyer, is also a business person, right? So you might probably be feeling that, okay, what, I don't know, for many of us that probably read the citation or saw a citation design, I probably be feeling that, okay, as a lawyer, like, what does a lawyer have to offer for mediation? I mean, we're talking about having an idea and starting up, but I believe if you read his bio very well, I was thinking to be reading it, I believe you would have seen that really it's quite a privilege to have him come speak to us. So for my addition to start up, let me actually give you a breakdown to this. So yes, we are creatives, and majority of us, or some of us, have these beautiful ideas, or just have this little idea or a big idea, whatever form. But the idea is you have an idea and you do not know how. Please, if you please help manage the room, I can say we have some persons in the waiting room. If we can admit them, please. So you have an idea and you're looking for to start up. Like, how can you start the idea? How can you you know push up, right? See, how do you start? Our speaker is going to be touching on that. Perhaps you didn't even have an idea. You're looking at, okay, how do you is it get to one, or how does an idea come about, or the whole concept of an idea, or what kind of idea can actually start up in that sense? You are in the right place this evening and you can join in. I'm sorry, if I please, can you check in? I don't know if you have, please, can you check in on our speaker or reach out to Gadibo or someone to, check in on our speaker? I was supposed he should have joined in by now. Welcome. If you're just joining in, please, we're having an interaction session. Let us know where you're joining from, what you do, and if this is your first time or second time, please, we would like to know. First time guest, our special guest today. All right, then yes, I also mentioned that if you have a link or a site, or I don't know, an handle to your works or what you do to your page, your works or something, but you have an Instagram handle, you have an handle where they can check your social media pages, and from there connect. You can as well drop that, and I believe you have the connection ongoing. All right, so I was saying from idea to startup. So perhaps you don't even have an idea. You don't even wonder what kind of idea can actually be developed and all. Yeah, I was saying you're in the right place, and our speaker is going to be doing justice to that. All right, so if you're coming in, we would like to know where you're joining from, your name, what you do, where you're joining from. And if this is your first time of joining, we also want to know if it's your second time. We want to know where you're joining from. And also, I was saying that if you have a link, a reference to your work, you can just drop that, or your perhaps your social media handle. All right, so we have Janet from Lagos. You're welcome. We'd like to know what you do. So okay, can see Mrs. comments. This is my from Olayemisi. Hi, this is my first time joining the creative series. I am a data analyst. So we have MSc, a data analyst on the call. I'm interested in understanding what it entails in building a startup and keep it running in the long run. Okay, so we have MSc. Okay, I think you already said you're joining from Ibadan. Yes. Okay, who is a data analyst and is interested in understanding what it entails Okay. Sorry about that as well. I was logged out. All right, please can we all right, sorry for the break. Okay, I believe you can hear me. So sorry for the break. All right, so we have a speaker on the call, so I'm just going to do a quick one. I'm going to do a quick one so that we can have a speaker. So sorry for the break. So I was reading okay, I've read that we have Eta, you're dropping a reference. You hope to learn how to revolutionize what you do in a more creative way in this season. Blessing from Ibadan, a software tester and marketer, joining for the third time. You're welcome, Blessing. All right, so please, if you're just joining in, like I said, drop your name, what you do, and what you're looking for, why you decide to register. Then also you can drop a link to what you do. That would be a great one. All right, so we have a speaker now on the call, and I'm going to be sharing my screen now as I read the citation. So sit back and the next 45 minutes, 50-minute thereabouts is going to be worth your time. Thank you. I'm going to read the citation of our speaker, and after that, we're going to be having a speaker come on board. I'm as excited, for this as any of us might be. All right, I believe we can see my screen. Please, can we see my screen? Okay, I believe we can. So, Alex Afolalu, who is a speaker on the series tonight. Alex Afolalu is a seasoned business leader and lawyer with nearly half a decade of experience, having collaborated with, half a decade, I made a mistake earlier, half a decade of experience, having collaborated with over 70 startup CEOs. He has played a pivotal role in shaping and scaling numerous companies. His expertise extends to serving on the legal advisory board of various startups across diverse sectors such as entertainment, technology, real estate, and agro products. As a partner at Alex Afolalu and Co., he spearheads initiative in corporate and property law, driving strategic business development. His international experience includes a notable tenure at Murphy Law Firm in Maryland, USA, an international lawyer, where he served as a legal practitioner and head of paralegal, specializing in legal drafting. Alex Afolalu's core belief is in harnessing business acumen and legal expertise to build and grow successful enterprises. His dedication to strategic innovation and effective leadership is central to his mission of fostering business excellence and achieving transformative outcome. Creative series with a loud shout and excitement. Can we welcome live, not on stage now, live speaker, Mr. Alex Afolalu. You're welcome, sir. I'm making you echoes now, so you're welcome, sir. Okay, we can see you. Your mic is muted. You're welcome. Good to see you. Good to have you on board. Your mic is muted. Hope you're okay.
Good evening, everybody.
Great.
It's so good to be here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's good to see you too. It's great to have you on board. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. So over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I want to thank the organizers of this great event for actually having me. I count it as a very big honor to be here. Thank you so much. So without further ado, I believe everybody here, we are sort of business inclined in one way or the other. And starting this evening, I want to tell us of an event that actually happened in London in 1666. You know, something very historical happened in London in 1666. And what actually happened? What happened was that there was a spark, a tiny spark in a bakery in London in 1666. At first, the workers, the tiny spark actually happened in a bakery. So the workers of at this bakery thought it's just a tiny spark. It's not so much, you know, it's just a tiny spark. But before they could say Jack Robinson, this tiny spark burnt down the entire bakery and then went ahead to burn down almost the entire city. This tiny spark, you know, developed into a very big fire and actually burnt 13,000 houses and rendered more than 80,000 people homeless. So much so that when the city of London, when they were able to quench this big inferno that started from a tiny spark, they had to make a rule. They now decided that henceforth, that every house that will be built in the UK, in London, will be built with bricks. So if you've been to the UK, you will see that most of their houses are actually built with bricks. It was as a result of this fire that came from a tiny spark. So every big fire that you may see or encounter actually started from a tiny spark. And every big company that you see started from a tiny spark, started from an idea. In this instance, an idea can actually be called a tiny spark. Can you hear me? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. So every idea that you have is actually a tiny spark. And if that tiny spark is actually well nurtured, it can turn into a great inferno that will spread all over. So whether you have an idea to run a successful business, or whether you have an idea of the next big thing, or whether you have an idea of a multi-billion-dollar company, it's actually a tiny spark. And if it is well cultivated, it can be a very big fire. So today I want to show us how to take that tiny spark and turn it into a big inferno, a big fire. I want to show us, like I've shown many people, many CEOs in the past years, like I've helped many firms in the past years. I want to show us how we can turn our ideas to a startup that is functional and profitable within the minutes that I actually have. And I want to thank the organizers again for this opportunity. Yeah, so ideas actually rule the world, but not in their raw form. Yeah, I know you may have an idea to do this, to do that. Beautiful. Ideas actually rule the world, but not in their raw form. So the first step to going from an idea to a startup is to convert your idea from just being a raw material into something tangible. And how do you do that? The first point is this: convert your idea into a business model. So if you have an idea, the first thing to do is to convert your idea to a business model. And how do you do this? First of all, when you're trying to convert your idea into a business model, there's 7 things you have to look at. You have to look at the market, the competition, the scalability, the financial projections, right? So I'm just going to mention about 7 things to look at if you want to convert your idea to a business model. The first thing is, what problem is your idea solving? That's the first thing. What problem exactly is your idea solving? That's the first thing. If you have an idea, the first question you must actually ask yourself is this particular idea that I have, what problem is it solving? That's the first thing. The second thing is, what is the solution you are providing to this problem? What exactly is the solution that you are providing to this problem that you've identified? The third one is, who are the potential customers? What is the target market? Is it a shrinking market or is it a growing market? First point, the problem. Second point, the solution. Third point, the customer or the market. The fourth point, how do you plan to reach out to this market or to these customers? Are you going to be advertising? Are you going to put up a billboard? Are you going to do a WhatsApp broadcast? How do you want to reach out to these potential customers? The fifth point is, what is the cost of setting up and the cost of operation? If you are to start operating now, what exactly is the cost of setting up and what is the cost of operation? That's number 5. Number 6, how are you going to generate revenue with this idea? How are you going to make money with this idea? Right. So you must be able to answer the 6 questions. The first question is, what problem is your idea solving? Number 2, what solution are you bringing on board? Number 3, who are your potential customers? That is, what is your target market? Number 4, how do you plan to reach out to your target markets? Number 5, what is the cost of setting up and what is the cost of operation? And number 6, how will you be generating revenue? And lastly, what is your unfair advantage? In other words, what is your selling points? Once you can answer all of the 7 questions, then you have a business model. That's just the first thing. So the goal right now is to have an actionable business plan, an actionable business model. It is not necessarily to write a codified document as if you're writing the Constitution. No, that's not the goal. The goal is to have an actionable business plan or business model. That's the goal. A business plan that would set you on fire from the very get-go, that will cause you to hit the ball running. So once you can answer the 7 questions, that means that you already have a business model that is functional and ready to hit the markets. Are you tracking with me? So convert your idea to a business model or a business plan, an actionable business model or a business plan. That's the first thing, right? The second thing to do is to form a legal structure. Now, a legal structure is the very foundation that your business model will actually be sitting on. And these are usually coming. When people have ideas and they want to change the world, they come here, hey, Alex, I have this idea, blah, 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 blah. How can we set the ball rolling? You need a legal structure. And within the context of Nigeria, because I'm going to give a Nigeria-related legal structure. Of course, I'm also well versed in U.S. legal system as well too. I can go on to do that, but then for the sake of this meeting, I'm just going to be talking about the Nigerian legal structure, right? So for the Nigerian legal structure, we have primarily three structures for running a business. The first is actually a sole proprietorship. The second is a business name. And the third is a company formation. So a sole proprietorship business is actually an unregistered business. But it's actually a business nevertheless, that's Akara woman selling Akara at the junction of your estate. It's a sole proprietorship. She's making profit quite all right. She's doing well quite all right. But she might never get to make $1 billion from that Akara that she's selling. She's a sole proprietor. So that's the first legal structure. The second point is actually, the second legal structure is actually a business name. A business name. So you want to set up a business name. Now, what is a business name? A business name is the manner and style by which you do business that is recognized by the government. That is the business name. So if you have a business name, if you want to register a business name, you're saying that, okay, hello, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I run a business with this particular name, and I want you to know about it. That is actually what you're saying. You're telling the government that I run a business. I run a business with a particular name. That's all. It's just the manner and style by which you do business. That's all. Even though you're registered with CSC, you are still one and the same with your business. If there is any issue, you're going to be liable for it because it is still you and the business. Yes, you may call the business Louis Perfume International, or you may call the business Black Something International. That is just the name and the style by which you do business. But it is still you doing the business. You are not separate from the business at all. So the advantage of this is that you can easily start business like that. One, and there is less government regulation with respect to setting up a business name. And it's cheaper, it's easier to do that actually. And I can advise you to set up a business name when you are just trying to test the waters, when you are not yet sure as to whether this is a good business to actually do. You can start with a business name. But then you should be sure that if the legal structure that you have is actually a business name, you can get funding. There is a limit to which you can actually scale. I'll say that again. There is a limit to which you can actually scale. There's actually how far you can actually go with a business name. But then if you are still trying to test the waters, if you're not sure about the viability of the business, you can start with a business name. Now, there are two types of business name. There's business name as a sole proprietor, and as business name as in form of partnership. That means that you can register your business name just you alone. You are the only person running the business. That's recognizable by the government. And you can also register your business name as a partnership with somebody else. The law allows you to register as many as up to 50 partners, for a business name. But then business name in itself is very limited. There are so many things you cannot actually do with a business name. But then it's actually a great way to start. It's actually a good way to start. And the term like is company company limited by shares. Private company limited by shares. That is when people in business begin to take you serious. Okay, now you're serious about business. Now you're on your way to having a startup. When you set up a private company limited by shares. Now, what are the advantages of setting up a private company limited by shares? Quite a few. First of all, a private company limited by shares separates you from the business. The business is now a juristic person. The business has a life of its own. You are you, and the business is the business. You are separate from the business, and the business is actually separate from you. You are not one and the same with the business. And what that means is that your liability, your personal assets, they are separate from the business. Your risk is only limited to the amount of money you've actually invested into the business. What that means is that if you were running the business and you run into a loss, for instance, your customer or whoever you owe money in the course of the business, cannot come and hold you responsible and say, where's our money? They can't do that. Because yes, you're the one running the business, but it is not you that is actually owing them the money, it is the business. So they can actually hold you responsible. Why? Because you are actually separate from the business. I really want us to follow me each step of the way. We are actually going far. And this is just the foundation we're about to take off now. And I don't want you to miss me here. Right. So a limited liability company is separate. You're separate from a limited liability company. You're separate. You are only limited to the amount of money you've actually invested to the business. Whereas for a business name, it is different. It is different for a business name. Very different for a business name. In the event of any loss, you're going to be responsible in a business with respect to a business name formation. For a limited liability company, the ownership can actually be transferred. That means that a time can come where you can say, you know what, I'm no longer interested in this business. I want to sell it. And you can sell the business as you're selling a house or a property and cash out. That is for a company. For a company formation, ownership is actually by shares. For a company formation, you have access to capital markets. And what that means is that you can actually raise funds. You can go to the bank and secure funds, and they will give you money to run your business. And even if it fails, they can't arrest you. They can't lock you. They can't do anything to you. Why? Because it is not you that came to borrow money from them. It is the business. So if they have any issue, what they will do is to carry the business to court and not you. A company can actually continue to exist after the founder, long after you're no longer in existence. The company can continue to exist. Why? Because it is actually a company. Now, that is the foundation. So you have an idea. The first thing to do is to convert your idea to a business, a functional business model. That's the first thing to do. And the second thing to do is to set up your business legal structure. And you can choose whether to be a sole proprietor, a business name, or a private company limited by shares. That is the foundation. That is the foundation. Now, once you do that, okay, that's cool. Then you are ready to start business. Don't forget that you already have a business model. You already have a problem you're trying to solve, and you already have a solution for the problem. You already know how you're going to generate revenue. You already know how you're going to reach out to your potential customers. You already have an unfair advantage or a selling point in the market. You have a functional business model. and now you have a link. Then the journey began. So the first thing is this. The first step is what is called the pre-stage. You can write it down if you're writing. It's the pre-seed stage. Now, your goal at the stage is that you're trying to build an MVP. What is an MVP? A minimum viable product. That is what you're trying to do. In the former stage, you're saying that, yes, I have this idea that will change the world. I have this business model. Now it is time to test your business model. It is time to test your idea. You said you have this idea of this pen that once you start to sell it, every student will buy. Fine, it is time to test that idea. So at the pre-seed stage, what you do is that you want to build a minimum viable product. A minimum viable product, an MVP. And this is also the time when you validate your idea or business model. This is the time when you get a test whether your idea or your business model will actually work in a live market. This is the first time you are eating the market. And at this stage, you are primarily getting data with respect to your business model and your business idea. You are testing the waters. And this is where the robbers eat the road. This is where we know true entrepreneurs. And this is where we know the wannabes. And to succeed in this stage, you actually need funding. That is why it's called the pre-seed stage. You need funding to succeed in this stage, because your cost and operation cost. You're gonna have a running cost, a setup cost, advertisement costs. You need money actually. Of course, there are some businesses that you don't need a lot of money to start, but then you still need resources. And now, how do you get funding in this stage? Don't forget that you're yet to prove whether your idea is going to be a success. You're yet to develop a minimum viable product. Well, then you need funding. How will you get funding at this stage? Now, you can only get funding in two ways. The first way is to bootstrap. And the second way is from your family and friends. What does it mean to bootstrap? To bootstrap means to fund your business from your own savings. That is actually what I mean to bootstrap. To fund your business from your own savings. That is what it means to bootstrap. You are self-funding. The second way is through family and friends. I mean, what are friends for? If you have a business idea and you have some rich friends, you can reach out to them. Guy, I have this business idea and I'm looking for funding. You can reach out to your rich uncle. You can reach out to your dad. Primarily, you reach out to those that actually want to see you succeed. You can reach out to your mom. You can reach out to anybody to get funding at this stage. That is your pre-seed stage. Now, there's a lot of mistakes. People make a lot of mistakes at this stage. They are trying to get funding. I'm trying to set up this catering business. I need money. Uncle, can you loan me 500K? So your uncle will tell you, you know what? Only 500K. I know 500K, but take it 20K. But you need 500K. You reach out to your friends. They're like, guy, man, everybody's just giving you stories. They're like, man, you're like, I don't have good friends. No, you have good friends, but you don't know how to sell your business idea. That's the problem. And I'm gonna show you how to do this. Actually, I've considered for a lot of tech CEOs in this regard on how to get funding for your pre-seed stage. And this really determines whether your idea will actually live at all, because you need funding. Now, how do you get funding for your pre-seed stage? Don't forget that you've already incorporated your company. That means that you're already protected. That means that even if your business, even if the business fails, nobody's come to drag you and say, "Oh, guy, you borrowed 500K, give me the money." This is nothing like that's going to be happening. Why? Because it is not you that has come to borrow the money from them. It is actually the business. So the first thing to do is to do evaluation of the company. And this is very tricky. You've not sold a thing. You've not done any business. And you need to do evaluation. I always tell CEOs, before you go borrowing money, before you go, do evaluation of your company. So they're saying, but I've not sold anything. I've not made any profit. I've never started business. That doesn't mean you can do evaluation of your business. It is called valuation before revenue. And it is very important for a lot of reasons. First of all, when you've done a valuation of your company, it makes you interested. I say, hello, I have this business idea that and I've started a company already, and it's about a kickstart. The valuation of the company is so figure. Let's say the valuation of the company is 2 million naira, for instance. And you're saying that, okay, I need 200,000 naira, to kickstart. Or you can say it this way, that, uncle, I have a business that is worth 2 million naira. And I want to give you 10% of my business for 200,000 naira. So you have already done your cost and analysis. You've seen that you need 50K for adverts, you need 100K for operational costs. You need quite some amount of money for certain things, and it's around 150K. And so you go to your uncle and say, uncle, I need 200. I want to sell 10% of my business to you for 200K. Or you call your friend, I want to sell 10% of my business to you for 200K. Don't go looking for money without doing a valuation first. And I want to give you the yardstick, the measure by which you can actually do your valuation. The first thing to determine the value of your business before revenue is the uniqueness of your idea and profitability. What is the uniqueness of this idea and profitability? Have you built a prototype or a product before? If you're saying you want to go sell a pen that every student will like, what they will ask you is that, have you built a pen like this before? That's the first thing they will ask you. The third thing is that what is the strength of your management team? Do you have a team? Because people love to invest in companies that already have a functional team. You need to get a team, put a team together. Number 4, what is your strategic relationship? Or what strategic relationship do you have that you can actually leverage on? Number 5, if you get this 200K, if you get this funding, how much runway with this capital that you're looking for, how much runway will it give you? If you get a 200K, how much will you be able to make from this 200K? Those are the things that will determine whether you're going to get funding from your friends and family. If you tell your guy, if you put 200K in my business, at the end of the year, I would have made $1 million in profits, and you would own 10% of this business. And what that means is that at the end of the year, that 200K will actually be worth 300K. That's what it means if you do the math. So if you go to ask people to invest in a business like this, you're going to get funding actually. Definitely. People always get funded this way. So you have to do what is called valuation.
Sorry to
Hello?
Yes, sorry to comment. I don't know. I think it's different from your hands. I don't know if it's your network. I'm kind of missing out on some things missing for a little while now. So I think it's possible
Sorry,
to just
I
try
can't
to check
I
the
can't really hear you
network.
clearly. I can't hear you clearly. Can you speak louder, please?
Okay, can you hear me now? I've said we've been missing some of the key things you're saying. So I don't know if it's your network. Probably you can help us check and maybe refresh
Really?
it.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Oh,
yes. So
oh.
sorry to
It's
Bajan.
all right. It's okay. I know
Yeah, just help
it's
us check
important to me that
it.
you get everything I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yes. Let me just. Okay. Okay. So please
If you
just give me a
just
few
if you
minutes,
just
just
check it,
about.
you can. Yes, you can go ahead if you just do that for us. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
It's just
apologies to our participants.
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to set something. It's just a few minutes. Okay. So please just a minute. Just give me 1 minute, please.
All right. It's fine, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, while we wait for our speaker to just checking his network, I believe we are learning something, we are jotting down. Has actually said a lot, and I don't know, I don't want us to miss out on some things because my team already informed me also that we're missing out on some things. So please just as much as possible as you can, take note of, just do that. And my team are also sharing some of the key things they're saying on the page, on the WhatsApp page, and we're also doing so on the chat page. So please just bear with us while we sort this out. The meanwhile, also I dropped on the chat page. If you have your questions, please sir, you can let me know when you're ready. If you have your questions, you can start sending them in. We already had some questions coming already, and we've noted those ones. But if you have more questions coming in, perhaps more things, your mind were drifted to some parts while you were speaking, you can just take note of that and drop in your question. Sir, are you ready? Are you ready now?
Yeah. Just a few seconds more, please.
All right. Okay, and that's fine. So, of course, a number of things has been said. He has given a lot of procedural steps, converting your idea to a business model. Talked about 7 things to look out for. Talked about the three forms or legal structures we have, and gave examples of two type of business name, and we went ahead to speak about the private company with shares and the MVP. So we're going to maybe I can drop this up like a little, maybe share what you learned, or maybe like a little quiz. Like I said, we have a freebie, and so maybe we'll use that to determine who gets the freebie. No, not decided yet, but that can be a way. So ensure you're actually learning and you're actually jotting, right? You don't want to miss out in answering the questions correctly, because it will be given to whoever answers the question correctly and not just something around it or so. So ensure you're actually jotting and you're learning something. So if you're ready, you can let me know. He also spoke about, getting fundings, how you can get fundings, from your own savings, the bootstrap, from family and friends. We spoke about, doing an evaluation of your business, right? Even before you launch out. And I think, some questions came from my own hand from that. And once it's question and answer period, I would, be asking that. So please I believe we're enjoying, and sorry for this little break, but I think we can just use this to catch a little breath as we go ahead in the series. Thank you so much for your time, and I believe you're making the most out of it. If you still know someone out there, your business colleague or someone, a friend that you know that okay, the things that are being shared here ought to, I mean, this person ought to be here. I've been in some certain meetings that I know that this person should be here, and sometimes I reach out, and if it's a physical meeting, just maybe get the person the recording also. So if you have someone like that, right, you can do well to send the link. Right, so we have the link, send the link and tell someone that this is ongoing, and some great things are being shared that they don't want to lose out on, especially for someone that probably been asking, how do I register my business? How do I do that? And this person needs this and how. So thank you so much for your time as we wait for our speaker to continue. Thank you.
I think you all can hear me now. Can you all hear me now? Can you all hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Beautiful.
Okay, you can go ahead, sir. Thank you.
Beautiful.
But we can't see your video anymore.
Yeah, don't worry.
Thank you.
You see me very soon. Just a minute.
Thank you, sir.
So I believe you can see me now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I spoke about I was talking about the pre-seed stage, that there is actually a way to approach the pre-seed stage. I spoke about the fact that the purpose of the pre-seed stage is actually two things primarily, to develop an MVP. What is an MVP? An MVP is actually your minimum viable product. That is an MVP. The pre-seed stage is to actually develop an MVP, your minimum viable product. Then the pre-seed stage and to kickstart this pre-seed stage, you actually need funding, and you can start
Oh, okay. I think this current network is even worse than the one. Okay, please just bear with us. Speaker would. Okay. Okay. Are you there, sir? Your mic is muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can.
Yes, sorry. I think the internet locked me up. I'm so sorry about my internet today. So for the pre-seed stage, in order to get funding for the pre-seed stage, you need to make sure that you have a unique selling proposition. You have a unique idea and profitability. You have a product type of a product you're trying to sell, and you have a team of people that are passionate about what you guys are trying to do. And you also have strategic relationships that can actually foster, what you're trying to achieve, and that the capital you're trying to get, you are sure that you're sure it's going to give you a very good runway, a very good runway to profitability. Those are the things that I've actually said. So moving on to the next stage. So after the pre-seed stage, you've actually gotten funding already. You've gotten the measure of funding from whoever believed in your great idea. Sorry, my light went out here and I can't stand up to go put on the gen. So please bear with me. So you have funding already. You have funding already, at least to an extent. So what you do with this funding determines whether you're going to get to the next stage. The next stage is actually the seed stage. Don't forget that the purpose of the pre-seed stage is to actually and also build a minimum viable product. That is the purpose of it. So the moment you get the funding, you must make sure that you build a minimum viable product with the funding, and you also test the markets, and that you ensure that you have some traction of success. Until you have some traction of success, your pre-seed stage you're not actually done with your pre-seed stage. That means that you are setting your business idea, your business model. As you want to sell a pen to 10 million students. Now, at your pre-seed stage, the goal is not to sell 10 million pen to 1 billion people. No, the goal is to sell 10 pen to 1,000 persons. That is the goal at the pre-seed stage. So once you sell 10 pen to 1,000 persons, the idea is viable, and you can end up is profitable. That is not the time to cash out. That is not the time to go and buy a Benz. At that point, you're trying to prove the viability of your business. That is actually what you're trying to achieve at that point in time. That is what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to prove that your business model is actually going to be successful. That is what you're trying to achieve at a pre-seed stage. So once you can achieve this at the stage, next thing for you to do is to move on of 2 million naira funding. So you got this 2 million naira, this 200,000 from your uncle. You put it in the business, and you made $1 million naira profit in the course of a year. You made $1 million naira in profit in the course of a year. So you already have a revenue at the end of a year. You already have a revenue. So before you go to your seed stage, what you would do is that you take this revenue that you've generated in the course of a year. Now you now do evaluation, which is actually called revenue valuation multiplier. So now you've made $1 million in profits, and you now have 100,000 in assets. Can we all hear me? Can I have some feedback? Can we all hear me, please?
Yes. Yes, we can actually hear you. We can hear you. So I don't know, perhaps if you can you set up your video and let me do your audio alone. And that will help the network.
Okay, that's fair. I've done that already. That's fine.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So after you've done your pre-seed stage and you made ₦1 million in profits, what you have to do is to do what is called a revenue valuation. Don't forget that at the beginning, your company was actually about ₦2 million. And now you've made a profit of ₦1 million. So what you have to do is to do a valuation of it. So how do you do the valuation at this stage? So the way you do the valuation is by asking yourself a question that how much do you need to put in the bank in a fixed deposit that the bank will be giving you ₦1 million every year? That is how to do the valuation. Right now in Nigeria, the pay right now in Nigeria, the pay is 7%. It's 7% in Nigeria. In fact, it's currently 7% on any amount of money you actually fix in the bank. You have to fix. So so in this case, you have to deposit ₦13 million in the bank for you to begin to earn ₦1 million per year. So right now, the value of your company is now ₦13 million. So you've gone from just being what ₦2 million to being what ₦13 million within the space of a year. So do you have ₦13 million in the bank? No, you don't. But then your company is actually what ₦13 million. So at the end of your pre-seed stage, you want to make sure that you make some reasonable profits so that the valuation of your company can actually go up. Then with your ₦13 million valuation, you can approach investors that, okay, I have a company, it's worth ₦13 million. I've done so and so. I've captured the size of the market. I built an MVP, and I need another I need you to give me 1.3 million for another 10% in my company. That is, take 10% of my company and give me 1.3 million. And what that means is that your uncle's 100K is now worth 1.3 million naira. That's exactly what it means. So now, at that stage, you can approach the bank, you can approach early stage venture capital, you can approach angel investor, and you can still approach your family and friends. And so they give you 1.3 million naira for 10% of your business. And at this stage, what you're trying to do is that you're trying to capture a market share, because now you already have a minimum viable product. You've already proven that your business is actually viable and it's profitable. So what you want to do is that you want to capture a market share. So you take this 1.3 million, now it's not the time to buy an iPhone or iPhone 14 or whatever. You take your 1.3 million, you put it back into the business, and you scale it. Let's say at the end of the year, you made another 5 million naira from this profits. That means that you've made 6 million naira in 2 years already. So that is 6 million naira divided by 2. That is 3 million naira. That means that your business in just 2 years is now worth 39 million naira. You're already burning. So after this, you move to the next stage, which is actually called the Series A. That is the stage of expansion. Then reach out to investors again. Okay, my business is now worth 39 million naira. Why not give me 2 million naira for 5% of my business? You get it, 2 million naira, you scale again. So like that, you know, till you reach till you get to Series C. The first series funding round is Series A, second one is Series B, third is Series C. The Series A is actually the early stage of funding. The Series B is actually the growth stage, and the Series C is the expansion stage. So when you get to the Series C, you're already a functional company. Then you may be feeling like, but then I would have been giving up some of my shares. That's actually how it works. Because without giving up some of your shares, you're not actually be able to get there. So by Series C, when you get a Series C of funding, you're already at your expansion phase. And you already captured a significant market share. And at this stage, you have two options. You can either take your company public by an IPO. This is how people become billionaires. You take your company, to the stock exchange. You list the company on the stock exchange through what is called an initial public offering, an IPO, or you allow an acquisition. For instance, Instagram was bought by Facebook for $1 billion, if I'm not mistaken. WhatsApp was bought by Facebook for about $22 billion or so, if I'm not mistaken. Yahoo, yes, tried to buy Facebook at a point in time, but Facebook actually rejected. So at this stage, you have the option to either go public or to cash out, through acquisition. So now let's assume that at Series C, your company is now worth 500 million naira, and you've had to relinquish about 40% of your shares, and you sold your company for 500 million naira. So you're going to be cashing out you're going to be paid 300 million naira in profits. That is if you still own 60% of the shares. And your uncle that invested 200K will actually cash out 15 million naira at the stage. So that is actually how you go from an idea to a functional startup. And you become a startup at the seed stage, not at the pre-seed stage. You become a startup at the seed stage, not at the pre-seed stage. And that's how you go from a tiny spark to becoming a great fire in business. Thank you.
You're done, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm done.
Awesome. Can we give speaker, I don't know, the clap emoji? We have a clap emoji there. Okay. Can you see me? We have a clap emoji or some reaction. Thank you. Let's go. Let's see the speakers and reaction. Thank you so much. Really trying to keep up and also my network was quite good and I was able to document down some things.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't really hear you very clearly.
Oh yes, sorry, I forgot.
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, it should be much better now. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for that session. I was also trying to also keep up. At a point, my network was quite blessed, but I was also able to note down some key things that you said. And yes, I don't know if you were speaking from a slide or document, but I think we are really going to need that. If it's possible to, I don't know, help us put all of these in a slide or what document, because we quite missed out on some key things that were shared that we would want to have. So I don't know if it's possible to have that can come in later so that we can share with our community and so that we can also really get some of the key things or everything you said. So I don't know, would that be possible?
Yes,
And
it's been my pleasure. It's been my pleasure.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So please, if you have questions, let them come in. Let them come in. I already give a recap of some of the things it was saying. It started with the fact that I remember it's from Ideation to start up. And it started with the fact that, it shared a story actually. And, the summary or the lesson of the story is the fact that, an idea is like a tiny spark, if well cultivated, can be a big fire. And something about fire is the fact that fire spreads. So, if you can cultivate that tiny spark and it becomes a big fire, it's actually a big fire because it's actually spreading, spreading, spreading. And of course, it's consuming, it's like covering. If we don't stop it, if we don't stop it, it just keeps spreading, spreading, spreading. And so it means that small idea or what you term a small idea in quotes now from your room, from your household, from your location can actually rule the world. And like I said, it's not a right ideas rule the world, but not in their raw form. So if you're cultivated and becomes a big fire, it means your idea from I don't know where you're staying, right? But from that place where you're staying can actually become a global idea, can actually rule the world. Just like fire, it can keep spreading, 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 spreading. And he gave us some steps, right? Converting your idea, you have to convert your idea. So for your idea to actually, be something, you have to convert it to a business model. And he gave us 7 things to look out for. Okay, because of time, I may not just be able to go through and give us 7 things. What idea is your problems and what problem is your idea solving, the solution, the target market, how do you okay, how do you plan to reach out to your target audience, the cost of selling, and how you make your selling points, make revenue? But it is whatever idea you have, you have to convert it to a business model. Remember, ideas rule the world. I think that's one of the key things we can take. Ideas rule the world, but not in their raw form. You must be able to convert your idea to a business model and give us the structure. So as a sole proprietor, right, it's you and you alone. No one knows you in that sense because the government doesn't know you. I mean, what kind of business? I mean, yeah, maybe it's a starting point, right? But at that point of being a sole proprietor, you are the it's just you and you alone, right? Yeah, the CEO of your business, right? And it's just you. But the moment you go to a business name, right, and you get registered, the business name, then at that point, the government know you. So you're not just doing your business per se, like yourself alone. Or at this point, the government knows you. So it's being registered in government. And of course, we're saying that even as a business name, you could have a supervisor, just yourself, or you could have partnership. And of course, the biggest of them all was part where I was talking about the private company limited by shares. At that point, I think when he was talking about that, some beautiful thing was the fact that so it's not me. So you're separate from your business in that sense. So if you get a loan and all of that, and for some reasons you can't refund, it's well, I think I have questions around that. It's not me that going to owe this my business, but how do they owe my business? I don't know. But I think during the question and answer session, I think you really need to help us clarify what you mean by it's a business that is going to be held accountable. Like the business, I don't know, but I think during the question and answer session, we can do that. Then at the point I was talking about MVP, and the fact that you can do an evaluation of your business before revenue. I was saying that I have a question, the uniqueness of your idea and the profitability, the strategy for relationship, getting funds from your own savings, from family and friends, then the precept stage, and after you've gotten funding, make sure to do a revenue evaluation and all of that. So a lot of things has been said, and I just want to take in questions now. Our time is already far spent, so I want to take in questions, please. Also, on a good page, you can also drop the thing you learn. What did you learn and how? Then we're taking questions. Oh, okay. I was thinking I missed that. So, sir, my very first question I have here. So, sorry, sir, can you hear me? To be sure.
Yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you still.
Yes, sir. So once again, I want to say thank you so much for that session. Yes, I know, of course, 50 minutes, it's not enough time, to be sincere, to talk about all of these things or to explain it. But like creative series is just like giving the foundation, knowledge of foundational things, requirements to actually start out in these areas that have been discussed in. But then speaking about, so at the point you said do evaluation, if I got this right, do evaluation of your business before revenue or something around that. And you were like, okay, so it's really this is in the part of seeking for funding. So you were saying that okay, if you're reaching out to a family or friend, you actually give the importance of getting fund in this kind of area. So you can call your maybe your uncle, say your business is what's doing evaluation is what around 2 million naira, and you're trying to get a fund and all. But then so there's always this talk of start small, start small. So if I I'm my idea now and do all of those things and know and I'm doing evaluation and my business idea is maybe like let's use 10 million naira. Is that not too big? Does that not scare potential? Imagine reaching out to my uncle and saying 10 million naira, like, February. So I don't know. I don't know. Can we not like start not scare potential? I mean, you that you're just starting 10 million naira, you're saying something thousands of dollars. Does that not scare potential? So I don't know. Can you explain that? Then where does the idea of starting small come in, or is it just starting big? Like when you're doing evaluation, because if you do evaluation of your business, yes, every business idea starts small, but at that point you're doing evaluation. I'm not sure any evaluation of any business, if you know where you're going, it's going to be big. So does that big amount not scare potential funders away, or I don't know? So can you just clarify that? Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for that wonderful question. So when you're doing the valuation of your business, the valuation of your business or the worth of your business is not what it will be. It's actually what it what it is currently. Now, there are times that you may have the vision of your business becoming a $1 billion corporation. But right now, it's just what 100,000 naira, actually. Now, for instance, now, if your business is actually frying and selling pop-off at the junction of your estates, you can't say it's worth 10 million naira. It's unreasonable. But if that's the only joint in your estate has about maybe about 2,000 residents, of youth population that loves to pop off that you're gonna start selling. If you are started asking, okay, where is this which there's somebody here that was selling pop off, or they take bike 500 naira back to go and buy pop off, in like 2 estates away. That idea to start selling pop off at the junction of the estate is actually a profitable idea. And the cost of operation, maybe let's say is around 20K or 30K, for instance now. And you employ somebody, maybe you're paying the person 10K. So all you need for the cost of operation is just around 40K. And at the end of the year, you'd have made about, let's say that maybe you make it like maybe 100,000 per month, less expense. And I mean about, let's say you made about 1 million naira at the end of the year. Now, at the initial stage of evaluating your business, it's not even what 1 million naira. It's what maybe around 100K, 150K. That's the worth of that business as at that point in time, actually. So when you are doing evaluation of your business pre-revenue, you have to actually be honest, and you have to be reasonable. Actually, it's very important for you to be reasonable. And I also want to say that there's some businesses that is also worth millions from the very start. I'm currently on the board of a tech startup called Sinewave. Right now, sine wave is yet to launch, but sine wave is actually worth a minimum of 25 million naira. Why? They've built a unique app. They are incorporated in the US. They have a copyright. They're working on a trademark. But they don't even have any revenue at all. So what determines your pre-revenue valuation is actually the amount of work you yourself have put into your business and the nature of your idea, the kind of connection that you have, to take that business to the next level. All of this has actually come together to determine your valuation for revenue. But then once you start generating revenue, the business actually speaks for itself. The revenue is simply is simply the multiplication of the interest the bank will actually pay you per year of the amount of money you've actually generated. That's if you've already started generating revenue already. That's just it. Actually, it's called earning multiplier. But then before you generate revenue, at that pre-seed stage, everything boils down to your negotiation skill and your persuasion skill. You must be able to convince whoever you're speaking to that, after having done an honest evaluation, you must be able to convince whoever you're speaking to that my business is actually worth this. Very important, actually, very important. Quickly, before coming here, I watched Shark Tank a lot, and I watched an episode on Shark Tank. The guy came, with his business, and he was saying that the business was actually worth around $7 million naira, $7 million. And they were saying, the sharks were saying you should get out. It's not what that. It's not what that. You should get out. Nobody invested in the business. 3 years after, he made profits and did his valuation. To cut a long story short, a major company was not buying that business for $1 billion. Actually, so you also have to know your worth when you're starting the business. You also have to know what your business is actually capable of, and how far it will actually go. But at the beginning, you have to do an honest evaluation. That pop-up frying stand is not worth more than 100K. You can't say it's worth 1 million naira. No. At that point, it's not worth more than 100K. And you have to be honest in your evaluation. So that's what I can actually say about that.
Wow. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of interrupting. Oh, that's awesome. So I think that point was made clear. So the valuation of your business is not what it will be, but what it is currently. So I think that phrase or that statement alone, did a lot of explanations to that question. Thank you. And being on the board, I think that's quite some level. I don't know. In church today, my pastor was talking about something about being, part of the board or, trustee or this kind of companies, and it's. Don't let us go into that. All right. So quickly, second question here is so the part of, can you just, I don't know, maybe in a minute, can you just re-explain the part where you said, for the private company limited, it's not me that they're going to meet, it's my company. What exactly do you mean? Like, or how in that sense, how is my company the one owing money? I'm the CEO, I'm the founder of my, so how does my company refund? Or just quickly, just in 1 minute, just give a scenario to explain that or something. Thank you.
Okay. Now, so the first thing you must understand is this, that your company is actually a juristic person. What that means is that your company is actually an individual, a person has a life of its own, can breathe, has a life of its own. So once you're registering a company, and once you're done with the formation, that company literally takes on a life of its own, separate from you. As long as the company has limited at the head of it, the company takes on a life of its own and is separate from you. That company can actually sue and be sued. Whatever business the company does, the company is actually responsible for it. And now let me give you an instance. I believe, okay, this case is very popular amidst law students or lawyers. It's a very funny case. It's called Salomon versus Salomon. What happened is this, was that this man established his company called Salomon Limited. So it happened that in the course of doing the business, this Mr. Salomon that owns Salomon Limited put some amount of money into that company. He also got money from other people as well too. But it happened that this company did not do well. The company went bankrupt. So when a company actually fails, that company is actually bankrupt. And when it comes actually bankrupt, the investors, they actually lose their investments, or they can always sell the assets of the company to recover the investors' fund. Sure, you get, that's actually the way it works. So Mr. Salomon invested some amount of money into Salomon Limited. And some other persons also invested some amount of money into Salomon Limited. So when the business actually failed, what Mr. Salomon did was that Mr. Salomon took the company to court. He took his own company that he founded to court. That that company was actually paying first before he paid the other investors. And he actually won. That's the funny thing. He actually won. Why? Because he's actually separate from his business. He's actually separate from the company. The way the way others invested money into the company, that is also the way he also invested money into the company. And he gave reasons why the company was paying first. And the court actually gave the ruling. It does not really make sense, logically speaking. But then, the law is what it is. The company is a separate person, right? And Mr. Salomon Limited is a separate person. And Mr. Salomon is also a separate person as well, too. So he took the company to court and compelled the company to pay him. And the company actually paid him. So, with respect to getting funding, I always tell my clients this, that when you want to get funding, what to do is this. If you want to separate your liability fully, open a company account. What I'm saying, I charge, the times people come to me with this kind of problem, and I've tell them as much as 150K just to say this. Because it's really a major problem in Nigeria, actually. They will they'll start a company, and when they want to collect investment, they use their personal accounts. That's wrong. So what you do is that you start a company, you open a business account in the name of the company. Everything you're doing it in the name of the company. If you send out the letter, of course, you sign your name at the bottom, but then it's going to be the company's letterhead for the company. If you're getting investors' fund, you're getting the money into the company's accounts. You're not mixing your personal business with that of the company, because the company is actually, is actually its own person. The only time when you're responsible, for the failure of the company is in the event of a crime like fraud. But in the instance of a normal business activity, you're not responsible for if the company actually fails to the investors. Why? Because business by its very nature has a measure of risk, actually, as it were. But then the trick is actually in how you handle your accounts, how you handle your company relations, as it were. But of course, you are a representative of the company. You are just a representative of the company, actually. So if there's any issue, they have to go and meet the company and not you. If they have any issue, they have to go and arrest the company, and not you. They have to go and, sue the company and not you. They can't sue you. I've had to go to, I've had to go to court and tell the court that this person cannot actually be arrested because he's not a company. They are the business with the company and not with this person. I'm speaking the law now, because the company is actually a person on it, so it's actually a juristic person. That's just actually how it is. Except you're committing a crime, That is when what is called lifting of the veil happens. If you're committing a crime and you're hiding behind the company, so the law will now lift the veil and I'll deal with you. But if you're not committing a crime and it's just the normal day-to-day business relations, nobody can actually hold you responsible for anything. You're just an employee of the company, just like everybody else. Yes.
Oh, okay. I think that makes much sense now. So your company is actually an individual, so has a life of its own. So if it can be seen as an individual, then of course, pardon me, it can be arrested or sued in that sense. So that makes more sense. And lastly, because of our time, so someone, I believe, to the person who stated this, I believe, justice has been done to this already. Someone was saying, they were looking forward to learning how to revolutionize what they do in a more creative way. I believe that has been, tweeted during the session, and you could see the dots there. So lastly, how to keep a startup running. So you've done all of this, you've gotten the funding, you've done all of that, and know how do I keep it running? What are I don't know, are they steps, or what do you do to service it such that all these stages, I haven't gone through all these stages, and it's now a startup, going with the speed of light, and how doesn't it crash down or go into bankruptcy, or how do you keep it running? So if you can do justice to that in 40, 60 seconds.
Okay. This is actually a big question, no matter how it actually sounds. First of all, it depends on the nature of the startup, actually. And the thing is this: when you incorporate your company, you are not yet a startup. That's the funny thing. When you get your first received funding, you're not yet a startup. You're not a startup until you've actually developed your MVP and you've already proven that this is actually valuable, and you're going for your seed stage funding, actually. So at this stage, you see, getting from your idea stage to your seed stage, it's not an easy task. It takes some measure of competence. So before you move from your seed stage, from your pre-seed stage to your seed stage, you'd have developed a lot of competence and a lot of skill, actually. But one thing I can tell you is this. First of all, your focus should actually be, developing the startup to successful heights, not to cash out. Right now in Nigeria, we have this cash out culture. So people will just be the startup, to a level, generate some revenue, go to venture capitals, say it's worth 15 million naira, and the person is worth 15 naira, and they'll sell half of it to 10 naira, cash out, and relocate to UK. People are doing that a lot right now, actually. And it's really affecting the venture capital markets in the country currently. So you don't want to do that. One, you also have to be flexible as well. You must also be able to adapt, with changing markets. And you want to go to your business model from the very beginning, and see if everything is still working according to plan. And if it is not working according to plan, make sure that you are tweaking your business model every now and then to fit the current markets, as it were. And one thing I also want to say is that have a great team. Have a great team is very, very fundamental. And keep your eyes on the goal. The goal is to get to that stage where you can actually exit. And when are you able to exit? It's actually after Series C. That is your fifth stage of funding. After your fifth stage of funding, that's when you can actually exit. And at that stage, you're already very profitable. But for you to move from pre-seed to Series C funding, You need competence, you need leadership, you need management, you need adaptability, you need a lot of hard work, just everything it takes in normal business to actually succeed. You need all of those things, and that's and your focus should actually be to cash out, in the before time. So when you get to your Series C, at that point you can actually sell your business. Any investor willing to actually buy a business from you at that point. So once you follow this general principles of adaptability, flexibility, hard work, leadership, strong management team, you're gonna do just fine. And if you add a functional business model from the very get-go, you're gonna do just fine.
All right. Thank you, sir. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, the light was using has been switched off. All right. Thank you so much, sir. So, a lot has been said. So, the person who asked that question, I think one of the major things to do is really adapt to the changing market. So you must learn how to tweak your business model to fit the changing market, because so that means you must keep innovating, right? So what worked last year might not work this year, right? Because there've been some changes. So you want to do that. Then competence, leadership, these are things that you develop, along the way. So I think you've done a lot of justice to the question. And at this point, time is really fast spent. I want to say thank you so much, sir, for giving us the privilege of having you on Creative Series. And, I think we are going to do this again on a much bigger scale. So I think we're going to bring some of these things you've said, break it down and just focus on some certain area. And, even for Creative Series, we are planning a big one for the November series by the grace of God, and I think we would want to have you on board for that. But of course, let's be on the lookout, and we'll reach out to you as how that will go too. So thank you so much, sir, for your time. We know you're a busy person, you're a lawyer, you have several things, and thank you for giving us this free time. And you also say something, thank you for also making this free. Like I said, Creative Series, all our speakers that have come in to Creative Series, they've always come free of charge, like no fees demanded, and it's been a huge privilege. So what the things you've heard, the facilitators over time, the things they've sharing from their wealth of knowledge, has been coming on a bit of grace free. And like I was saying, some of these things they said were things that it would charge for a consultation fee of over 100K and all. And these are things we've gotten free of charge. So lastly, we'll be ending in few minutes. Temitope, you're welcome. You're just joining in. We're wrapping up. Well, yeah. Also, so thank you so much, sir. I don't know if okay. You can still be on the call too, just for a few more minutes, sir. So, okay. I was saying, so for those of us on the call, I said we have a freebie, but we don't think. Yes, it's free, but nothing is actually really free. So, time is fast spent here.
Am I allowed to leave now, or I can still wait behind?
Actually, you can take your leave. You can take your leave. We'll
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm very grateful for it. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
And good to see you, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right. So quickly, I was saying that yes, we have a freebie, but the freebie is actually not really free. So time is fast spent, so we might not be able to do this here, but we'll develop a means too. So basically, we're going to like a short quiz or something that's going to be attached. But the idea is for everyone. So if you are here, you have a business or you are planning to start a business and you are not registered. In other words, like we've read the 3 stages. I just at the moment, yeah, it's so proprietary. That's what it means. You're not registered. The government doesn't know that, okay, this person is doing this. You're not registered. The freebie is actually for you. So we are actually, there's a package to get you registered, in little or no cost at all, right? And of course, it takes, if you know someone who does business registration, it costs a lot of money. And our facilitator today has graciously said that to everyone who attends, this series and would love to register, have their business registered, is going to be doing it at a very discounted price. So if you are here, you're not registered, and you'd love to register your business, so that idea is come. And like you said, business registration, is like testing the water. So you don't really have to have it all figured out, to register your business. Just get it registered. In fact, one of the beauties of registering your business ahead of time is the fact that so that name that your God-given name, the name you cooked up in the spirit or that came to you while you were having your bed or something, does not get used by someone else. So you have to act fast. Registering your business is like testing the waters. When you're going to the company part, that's when you should have gotten everything. But when it comes to the business level, it's like testing the waters. So you just have to do that as soon as possible. So yeah, you have a business, you have not been able to register. It's coming to you free of charge, and you are here. So taking note of everyone that attended this series, right? Either at the point or to the end, we're taking note of you. So we'll roll out how we want to do or how we want to select them, right? And just be on the lookout on our community page, our social media page. So you could just, it's to everyone do, but we're still going to screen how everyone that needs to get registered on this call would get registered. So you answer some questions or you have a look at what exactly it is you're doing, and we really be sure that okay, this person is worth this package. Thank you so much for joining in. Let's be on the lookout for next month's edition, which by the grace of God should be the last Sunday again of the month of August. And yes, be on the lookout for who our speaker is. Follow us on our social media page at Sorexine. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sorexine, also on X Twitter, formerly Twitter at Sorexine_. And do well to follow us, keep the notification button on so that you don't miss out on any of our services. And if you would love to join our WhatsApp or email community, you can just, I don't know, if you can drop, and then you can probably drop your contacts, or you can just message us on any of our social media handles. You like to join our, or actually the link is there. I think there's a link on our Instagram page to join in our WhatsApp community. You can just go right there and send us a message or just join directly. Thank you so much. Be on the lookout for Creative Series, the August edition. It keeps getting better, it keeps getting interesting. And like I said, we have a special package by the grace of God. All things going to place, for November, which is going to be major. All right, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you to those who stayed to the end. Ayokumi, Akisola, David Janet, Itayo, Lois, Temitope, anybody just left, and to everyone, thank you. I want to say shout out to my team too. Afolalu, Akinlade, Gbadebo, Nefesimi, Yemisi was in at the point. I saw EY too, and so every my team, together. I didn't do this alone. We've been able to, put up this together, reaching out to the speaker, ensuring that this is a success. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you. All right, so let's enjoy the rest of our evening. And yes, do well to reach out if you need to join our community, because the documents or slides of our speaker would actually be dropped on our community page alone. So if you're not there and you missed out on anything that was said, right, you need to be on our community page to have access to this slide. And the recording, lastly, the recording will be on our YouTube channel in about 2-3 days from now. Thank you so much, and let's enjoy the rest of our evening. Bye for now.